Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Friday with a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you been heard my conversation with David and Dante of Ruff Endz discussing their musical journey. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Friday headlines. In national news, unsealed warrant for Mar-a-Lago search, Attorney General Garland asked. The Justice Department is asking a federal court to unseal the warrant the FBI used to search the Mar-a-Lago estate of former President Donald Trump, Attorney General Merrick Garland said Thursday, acknowledging extraordinary public interest in the case about classified records. The request is striking because such documents traditionally remain sealed during a pending investigation. But the Justice Department appeared to recognize that its silence since the search had created a vacuum for bitter verbal attacks by Trump and his allies, and Garland wanted to provide the FBI's side for what led to the action. The public's clear and powerful interest in understanding what occurred under these circumstances was heavily in favor of unsealing, said a motion filed in federal court in Florida on Thursday seeking the unsealing. Should the warrant be released, the request is now with the judge, and Trump can object. It could disclose potentially unflattering information about the former president and his handling of sensitive government documents right as he prepares for another run for the White House. During his successful 2016 campaign, he pointed frequently to an FBI investigation into his Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton over whether she mishandled classified information. It's unclear at this point how much information will be included in the documents if made public, or if they would encompass an FBI affidavit that would presumably lay out a detailed factual basis for the search. To obtain a search warrant, federal authorities must prove to a judge that probable cause exists to believe that a crime was committed. Neither Trump nor the FBI has said anything about what documents the FBI might have recovered, but the former president complained anew on Thursday about the search. Trump, who for years has lambasted the FBI and sought to sow distrust among his supporters in its decisions, said the warrant was served and the search conducted despite his cooperation with the Justice Department. In a post to his Truth Social platform, Trump said that his attorneys and representatives were cooperating fully prior to the search, and that government officials could have had whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, if we had it. FBI and Justice Department policy cautions against discussing ongoing investigations, both to protect the integrity of probes and to avoid unfairly maligning someone who is being scrutinized but winds up ultimately not being charged. That's especially true in the case of search warrants, where supporting court papers are routinely kept secret as the investigation proceeds. In this case, though, Garland cited the fact that Trump himself had provided the first public confirmation of the FBI search as his right. The Justice Department, in its new filing, also said that disclosing information about it now would not harm the court's function. In more national news, the CDC drops quarantine distancing recommendations for COVID. The nation's top public health agency relaxed its COVID-19 guidelines Thursday, dropping the recommendation that Americans quarantine themselves if they come in close contact with an infected person. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also said people no longer need to stay at least 6 feet away from others. The changes, which come more than 2.5 years after the start of the pandemic, are driven by a recognition that an estimated 95% of Americans 16 and older have acquired some level of immunity, either from being vaccinated or infected, agency officials said. The current conditions of this pandemic are very different from those of the last 2 years, said the CDC. Many places around the country long ago abandoned social distancing and other once common precautions, but some of the changes could be partially important for schools, which resume classes this month in many parts of the country. In more national news, gas prices dipped just below $4 for the first time in 5 months. Gasoline prices have dipped under $4 for the first time in more than 5 months. Good news for consumers who are struggling with high prices for many other essentials. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular was $3.99 on Thursday, down from the mid-June record of $5.02. However, they're still about 80 cents higher than the average a year ago. In business news, Bream selected as Fox Sunday host, Wallace gets CNN show. Shannon Bream, a Fox News Channel veteran who is the network's chief legal correspondent, is a new anchor of the Fox News Sunday political talk show, filling a role left vacant when Chris Wallace left last December. Meanwhile, CNN said Thursday that Wallace's interview program will air on the network Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And finally, in more business news, stocks closed mixed after new signs of cooling inflation. An afternoon pullback left stock indexes on Wall Street a mixed finish on Thursday, erasing most of their gains from a morning rally over new signs of cooling inflation. The S&P 500 closed 0.1% lower after having been up 1.1% in the early going. The Nasdaq Composite fell 0.6%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average eked out a 0.1% gain. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Friday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. While others are busy talking, stay busy doing all you can to show that you are living not for them or yourself, but for the glory of the one who created you. Have a great Friday and enjoy your weekend. We are part of my conversation coming up with David and Dante of Ruff Endz in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. David and Dante of Ruff Endz join me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about their extraordinary musical journey and new projects. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Hey, David, I want to start with you. I mean, what has this experience been like for you? I mean, to be able to see the way that your fans consistently look forward to every project and really do show their support with every song.
Man, it's mind-blowing. It's why we do what we do, you know. Me and my brother got back together, and the fans were a big part of it, man. So it's all about the fans. So, to see the support, and there's so many people that still is like, oh, my God, I didn't even know you guys were back together. You know what I mean? So it's so many people we still want to reach and touch. But just to see the reaction is amazing, because this project is a project that was produced by myself and written by me and my brother. So it's all our ideas, all of our expressions, all of our artistry wrapped up into one project. And to see the responses, it's amazing. I'm blessed.
Yeah. Dante, what about for yourself? I mean, as David was just saying, I mean, this is a very personal project for you all. I mean, what was it like for you to be able to see how it all came together and the way the fans are responding to it?
Beautiful. It definitely was needed on so many levels. Just talking to new promoters, new fans, the DJs, getting back in touch with a lot of the DJs, and they telling us like, "Oh, I didn't know y'all were back together. It was so needed. I'm so glad y'all. I'm so glad y'all still record music and putting out good music." We feel like we have a quality of music. We feel like we were bred in a time where they had A&Rs, and A&Rs made the artists focus more on the quality of themselves.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll have you guys on Monday with more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, the Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Then let's go make it a great one.